I never typically talk about option buying, but there's a place and time for it. Today's video will show you how you should option trade as a beginner and make bets on stocks using call options and put options. If you're new, my name's Henry. I'm here to teach you how to make lots of bread and guacamole with options. I previously worked for Goldman Sachs, a number of hedge funds, have my finance degree, and I've been doing this for 9 years. And as always, I show my portfolio and receipts. So if you appreciate 100% transparency here, then drop a like on the video. Make sure to check out the description to get on my email list and private Discord. Now let's not waste any time and start talking about call options. When you buy a call option, you pay the option premium in exchange for the right to buy shares at a fixed price, the strike price. This happens on or before a certain date, the expiration date. Buying call options basically bets a stock will rise. Call options basically give you all the benefit of owning a stock with a lot less upfront capital. Let me show you an example of buying a call option so you can see the payoff, investment, and advantage. In this precise guide, I'm specifically going to talk about picking a stock, picking a strike price, picking an expiration date, the assumptions of buying a call option and later buying a put option, the payoff chart, which means you're going to visually see how much money you can make. Then number 6, at what point you can 2x, 3x, 4x, and 5x your money. And then most importantly, many YouTubers don't talk about is going to be placing a correct stop loss and closing out of the position when you make profit. Let's start with number 1, picking a stock. You can see that I have Palantir, Tesla, Airbnb, Coin, Facebook, Nvidia, and many other options that I have made really good money on. Now, what you want to do when you pick buying a call option is you want to pick a stock with high implied volatility. Let's pick Palantir because Palantir has very affordable options. Now, Palantir not only has affordable options, but it has higher implied volatility because it's a tech stock. You want to pick high implied volatility stocks because a lot can happen in the underlying stock, and if the stock ends up skyrocketing, that's when you can make a lot of money. As opposed to picking a stock like Coca-Cola, which is on Warren Buffett's list, although Warren Buffett has been holding Coca-Cola for a long time, that is a value stock, and a value stock is not likely to have a very big move. And because a value stock like Coca-Cola doesn't have a lot of implied volatility, there's actually not that much money that you can make from buying a call option. Now, on the other hand, you can make a lot of money buying call options on stocks like Tesla, Palantir, American Airlines, and many other tech companies or any company that has good implied volatility. Now, number 2, you want to pick a strike price. To pick a strike price, you want to first go to trade Palantir options or whichever stock that you pick. Now, picking a strike price is going to depend on a couple different things. First of all, decide for yourself. Are you trying to replace stock and buy stock for a cheaper price, or are you trying to have a multi-bagger return? With stock replacement, you can buy a call option and basically have all the exposure of having 100 shares without needing to buy 100 shares. For example, if you're going to buy 100 shares of Palantir, you would need $1,896. However, you can control 100 shares of Palantir stock by just paying the premium here, which is $44. Each option is 100 shares, so you can control 100 shares of Palantir for $44 instead of paying $1,896. Now, on the other hand, if you want a multi-bagger return, then you would buy an out-of-the-money call option because it's going to be much cheaper, and if the stock ends up rising, you can make a multi-bagger return, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like momentarily. But first, we need to pick an expiration date because the expiration date is very important. If you pick an expiration date that is just a couple days away, well, you don't really give yourself a lot of time to work with. For example, this option right here is expiring on December 31st, which is basically just a few days away from expiration. Now, what I recommend a lot of my students do if they're going to be buying options is they want to go out at least 30 days from expiration. So now I'm going to pick an option that is 30 days away and show you guys exactly what changes and why that's so important. I'm going to pick the March 18th, 2022 expiration for this option. If you're watching this video in the future, then basically just go for an option that gives you at least 30 to 90 days worth of expiration time. Many people also decide to buy leap options, and I have a fantastic video on leap options that I'm going to link in the description. All right, so we picked March 18th. Now, if you take a look at the call option, it is now costing $198. So the farther you go out in terms of expiration, the more costly an option becomes because since there's more time to expiration, option traders know a lot more can happen. Therefore, they need to be compensated with more premium. This option is still going for a really good price because you can pay $200 instead of basically $1,900, giving you the benefit of owning 100 shares without having to pay that high price. Now, also, one thing I do want to mention about expiration date is the farther you go out in terms of expiration, the lower theta will be. For example, if I expand this 19 strike price option right here, you will notice right here that the theta is 0.01. Now, because each option is worth 100 shares, you do need to multiply this number by 100, which gives you $1.22. So basically, by renting 100 shares or buying this call option will lose $1.22 per day, which is honestly not that much money for owning 100 shares worth of value in Palantir stock. Now, the other Greek that I look at is the delta. The delta is 0.54, or again, it's going to be 54 delta if you multiply by 100. What that means is for every dollar move in Palantir, the option is actually going to move 0.54, or about 54 cents on the dollar. If Palantir rises by $1, this option will rise by 54 cents. Now, a $1 rise in Palantir stock is about a 5% move. However, the stock will move 5%, but the option will move 54 cents, and 54 cents is actually about 25% worth of the option's value. So in this example, you can make 5 times more than Palantir's move on the underlying stock using the call option. So Palantir moves 5%, the option moves basically 25%. That's 5 times. Now that's what happens while you hold the option. However, as the option approaches March 18th, the expiration date, what you need to happen is you need the option to actually move above the break-even price on expiration day. That's because options expire, and on expiration day, you have either an option that is worth some money or an option that's going to expire out of the money that's going to be worthless. In this example, you need Palantir stock to go up to at least $20.98 on March 18th. Of course, if it ends up rising before March 18th, you can make the money because delta is going to help increase the option's value. However, when it's actually March 18th, there's not going to be any more theta. There's not going to be any more value in the option aside from the amount the option is in the money. The option becomes in the money at $19. However, because you're paying $1.98, you need to add the premium that you're paying to the strike price to get to $20.98 that you see on the screen right here. Now, your break even is basically $21. The premium that you pay is basically $200. So what you can do to double your money is if Palantir reaches $23, that's going to be a $200 gain. Now your break-even price is 21. If it goes to 23, you're going to double your premium because $23 minus the $19 strike is $400, but you're only paying $200. So you can double your money if Palantir reaches $23. Now you can triple your money if Palantir reaches $25. That's because $25 minus 19 is now $600. Now to get $800, you just add 8 plus 19. That's when you can 4x your money. If you want to 5x your money, that's when you can add $10 here. At $29, you're going to have a $1,000 gain on a $200 investment. So at that point, you would 5 times your money. Now, the assumption when you're buying a call option is that the underlying stock is going to rise. Now, let me show you what the payoff chart looks like because it's very important to visualize what a call option actually does rather than listening to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm buying call option. That's a check. Now I'm going to click this call option right here, the 19 strike, which we've been talking about. And once I open this up, I'm going to click continue on Robinhood. You can use any platform that you wish. I'm using Robinhood because I've been with them for a long time. They're super simple. And although they're not perfect, it's simple to teach my students with it. So now I'm doing a long call option, one contract for $2, which is a max cost of $200. Now, if you'll notice here, the maximum profit is actually unlimited. You can make as much money as Palantir ends up moving upwards. Your max loss is the amount that you pay for the option, which is $200, and your break-even price is going to be $21. As you can see here, you do start off in the red. You start off in the red because you're paying for an option. You need the underlying stock to move up by the amount of premium that you pay, which here is $200 or $2 per share, which gives you a break-even price of $21. Now, after $21, everything above is basically gravy. You just make money as the stock moves up, and you can end up making 2, 3, 4, or 5 extra money, or even more as long as Palantir stock continues to move higher. Now, if you want to have a stop loss, or really when you're buying an option, a stop limit order, what you can do is place a stop limit order. So now in this scenario, I'm buying this option for $2. However, let's say that your exit point is going to be 2x your money, or about $400. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put $4 right here. And now if I open up this position will open up for $2. However, it will automatically sell the position for $4. This is going to bake in a profit of $200 or $400 total on a $200 investment. The stop price is up to you to choose. I typically like to have a return of 2 to 3x. So I'm typically going to place in this scenario $4 to $6. If I'm very bullish, I'm going to place something around $5 or $6. And if I just want to make a quick profit and I'm less sure about the direction, then I may go for something like $4. Something else you can do is you can manually track the option. You don't have to put a stop price in place. You can just manually look at the option. And if the option goes up up 2 or 3x and you're happy with your profits, then you can take your profit at any time you wish. You can close the position by simply waiting and having this order execute for you, or by manually placing a close order. So now let's talk about making money on a stock when it falls while hedging the risk in your portfolio. Put options help you protect and make money at the very same time. A put option gives you the right, but not the obligation, to sell a stock at a specific price, known as the strike price, by a specific time. Again, that's going to be the expiration date. For this right, the put buyer, which is going to be you, pays the seller a sum of money, just like you have to pay for buying a call option. This is known as the premium. Unlike stocks, which can exist indefinitely, an option ends at expiration and then it settles. It's either going to have some value remaining or the option is going to expire worthless. Put options are in the money when the stock price is below the strike price at expiration. With a put option, you're betting that a stock is going to fall. With a put option, you hope that the stock falls below your strike price, and that's when you make money. Of course, a put option can also increase in value and make you a profit before the expiration date, as long as the stock moves lower during the period in between. I'm going to show you the same step-by-step guide to profiting with put options, just like I did with call options. Number one, you want to pick a volatile stock. You preferably want to pick a stock that you're bearish on, because that stock is going to fall lower and make a profit for buying a put option. And I'm going to pick Snowflake. Snow is a very highly priced company that has a very high price to sales ratio, and it is likely to fall in my opinion. However, pick a stock that you want to use the strategy on yourself. So looking at the 1-year chart, Snowflake has been trending higher. It has been traded as high as nearly $400. However, now it seems to be retracing, and I think that we can see it go lower to about $305. So this is when you would want to buy a put option, is when you think a stock is going to fall. Snowflake is a high volatility company, which is a good thing because high implied volatility is again going to be a beneficial factor for someone that's buying either a call option or buying a put option. So now we have to pick a strike for Snowflake. I'm going to trade Snow options, and again, I think that the stock can fall to about $305. So I'm placing more of a price target on the stock, which is going to make it easier to pick a strike price. What we're looking as an assumption is that the stock is going to break down. We don't know when it's going to break down, which is why you want to pick an option's expiration date to be at least 30 to 90 days on the minimum side. So again, I'm going to buy a put option that's going to expire on March 18th, 2022. So in this scenario, I think that Snowflake is going to go down to $305. Now, if I go for an out of the money option, like the 330 put option, then you can see right here that my break-even price is $303.85. However, I said that it's going to go down to $305. This option right here is not going to be a good decision because I need Snowflake to have a significant move lower for me to see a benefit. And since I think it's only going to go down to $305 and my break even here is $303, this is not going to be a profitable option for me to buy. So for this example, I have to go for an option that is closer to the money. That's going to be more expensive. However, it's going to give me more direct exposure and give me more benefit if the stock ends up falling. Now, expanding this option right here, the delta is 0.42. If the stock ends up falling by $1, the option is going to rise by 42 cents. If Snowflake falls by $20 in the next couple weeks, then this option is going to increase by about $8 to $10. $10 in relation to the $33 that you're paying is going to be about a 30% return. However, that would only be about a 6% decline in the underlying stock Snowflake. So a 6% decline translates into about a 30% return. That means this put option is very similar to the call option example that we had. When the underlying stock moves 1%, the option is going to move 5 times more. So although I'm going for a much more closer to the money option, I'm still getting a very similar benefit to buying a call option. However, the call option was cheaper to invest in than this put option right here. But that's also because Snowflake as a stock is a much more expensive stock. If we were to do this on Palantir stock again, buying a put option would be very cheap. So now when I'm buying a put option, you can do a very similar thing by setting a stop limit order in place, because you want to have an exit position. Because in most cases, it's smart to have an exit plan exactly when you have an entry plan. Now, what I did here is I have a stop price of $66. So again, I'm baking in a 2x return on buying this put option. Having a stop price is very important for exiting a position, but if the position ends up going against you, you can also close the position at any time that you wish if you lose conviction in your position. Let's say that you're paying $3,300. Well, you can also have a stop loss put in place for $1,000. Therefore, if the stock doesn't end up moving in the direction that you hope, you don't end up losing all of the capital that you put into the position. Using calls and puts when you have conviction position a stock is one of the best ways to make a big profit without having to put up a lot of upfront capital. I do like using call options a lot more than put options. They're just more intuitive and easy because stocks have the tendency to rise. To master call options, check out my call option playlist right here.